Hi there. This is the first video that I'm doing regarding this kind of topic, because this is a kind of, I would say, opinionative topic. And in general, I don't like opinionative topic because it's opinionative. I mean, it's your opinion. It's not like, in general, I like topics that you can prove mathematically. For example, if I can tell you that, even if computer simulation, if I prove to you, for example, that if I say to you, for example, that Java is lower than C++, and I heard that a lot, people can really do simulation. Even though some simulation can be also altered or also somehow tempted in the sense that you can confirm what you want to confirm. It's called confirmation bias in psychology. But it's still even much better than when the kind of topic I'm going to talk in this video. I give private lessons at SuperProf, so you are invited. If you want to learn from me, you can see my website, you can talk to me on SuperProf. I can speak English, Italian and Portuguese, so you can pick your language. I'll be happy to help you. But recently I had a student from Lisbon, from Portugal. She's amazing. I mean, I love to work for her. Like some students, they are very easy to work with. I mean, it's not always. Sometimes one of my first experience at SuperProf was not that nice. I mean, the student was like, but it doesn't seem specifically for me. I saw some people talking about Upwork, and on YouTube you see the same experience. When you are starting, anything you start can be hard because you don't have the experience. People are going to take advantage of your lack of experience, and people always try to take advantage of someone that is starting. But this student, she sent me, I'm not going to mention her name and anything because of private issue. I do not feel comfortable to talk about someone without their consent. But if she wants to comment the video on YouTube or LinkedIn, she's welcome. I mean, I'll be happy to hear what she has to say. But she sent me this article about why Angular sucks. In general, I mean, I didn't read the article at first sight because I thought to myself, this article will be about something opinionative. And it's true, it's opinionative. But somehow it caught my attention. I replied to her on WhatsApp. I have a group of my students on WhatsApp. You are welcome to join us. Every student that I have, I invite them so they can talk to each other if they want. They can maybe complain about me if they want. I mean, I'm open. I mean, I'm not perfect, but whatever I can do to help the student, I'm gonna do. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I get sometimes angry. I mean, I'm a human. I'm a student of no violent communication. I try to apply for my student, but that's not the point. But I decided to read the article. But one of the reasons I don't like to read this kind of article, I don't like to read this kind of stuff because my brain starts to be activated. So what bothered me about the article is 2 points. First of all, the student, the author of the article, they do what I would call confirmation bias. You have a point, then you just show what you want people to see. For someone that's new to Angular, you can fall into the trap that you think that Angular is that bad. You can fall into the trap because when you are new, anything people tell you, it's called anchoring bias. Anchoring bias is that we as a human, it's like from psychology. I'm going to try to leave for you on the description of the video some kind of. There's a very nice video on YouTube. I love this video. They let you know 12 psychological traps that you can fall. There's a book as well from a very nice book from Daniel Kahneman. He's a psychologist. He won the Nobel Prize of economy. I love his work, and he mentioned his book as well. Anchoring bias is when you tend to give more. We as a human, you tend to give more value to the first information you receive. So if I let you know about something, you are going to tend to first always use this first experience. So if your first experience with your Angular was terrible, the probability is pretty high that you're going to keep that in mind. So if you read this kind of article before you even try to use Angular, that's one of the reasons I don't like this kind of article, because if you want to start something, it can be Angular, it doesn't matter what you want to start, just do it. learn by yourself. The first time I heard that, I developed this kind of thinking was when I was in fundamental school. I was like in fundamental school, people used to tell me like the high school is terrible, the high school is horrible. I mean, they used to say that mathematics was like sorry the expression, pain in the ass. I mean, but when I went to high school, I mean, it was amazing. So I thought to myself, wow, now I have to pay attention to that. So my advice for you is that if you want to use Angular, just use it. I mean, try it. Maybe it can be very nice. Before I start to use Angular, I decided to read a huge amount of papers on the internet. I decided to do a research. I looked for a lot of articles. Then I separate the articles between advantage and disadvantage. Then I present that to the people I was working with. I was doing my second postdoc. So I showed to them in a slide, I found this, I found that. Then I just showed them, just show them, to help, to give them the opportunity to decide with me, to give them, since I was working in a group, I thought I had to do my best to share the decision. But the final decision was mine. And even though I found, for example, I found that Angular was slow to learn. So I read in an article that Angular was pretty slow to learn. React was faster. But the same, I don't remember what the same article, I think it was another article. Another article said as well that Angular is slow to learn, but React is faster. But in the aftermath, in the future, it's much difficult for you to grow with React after this article I was reading. So I thought to myself, maybe I want to do something to be a long term. I don't know if this project I was developing will go on. I mean, I'll leave the article in the description of the video for you about my experience with Angular in this article. Hopefully I mean, you can see the GitHub. I leave the GitHub for you. But my point is, it's never easy to make a decision, this kind of decision, because once you choose the framework, you have to stick with this framework. I had one student that came to me. He wanted to learn Angular, and he was in a kind of Brazilian company, Brazilian organization. I believe this organization is public organization. He showed me the platform. It was a kind of a mess because someone designed part of the application in PHP, other designed part of the application in Java. I mean, it was like a mess. But anyway, it was like he explained me, like it was a kind of application that the first developer was not there anymore, then it shifted, and it's quite common to happen that. One of the reasons I'm learning unit test, and the books I'm reading, they claim the same. They say that it's true. Most of the time when you have a program, the people that developed the program is not there anymore. I mean, they left. So that's one of the reasons why unit test is one topic that I'm studying now, and I'm planning my next course to be about the unit test. So if you like unit test, let me know. I'm not sure yet I'm going to do in English or Portuguese. So far, most of my courses are in Portuguese. Not because it was a choice I did. I found that maybe it would be nice. But if you want to learn unit test in Angular, I already have one about Mongoose or MongoDB, but in Portuguese. But I found that some people that follow my course, they're English speaker. I mean, I somehow wonder how they understand what I'm saying. But that's one of the reasons I thought maybe I should do that in English, because maybe you cannot let me know your thoughts about the unit test in Angular. I have a very nice video in my channel about the biomathematics of a researcher in computational biology in the United States. He like in the end of the live, we talked about the unit test, we talked about the importance of testing Angular and so on. He using MongoDB like I like to use. Recently I did an interview, and the guy they were use Postgrid for for biological data. I mean, I do not agree with that, but anyway, it was an interview, so in the end it didn't work well. But anyway, the point is that to close, not to get too long on this video, I think I wrote a very short article on Medium. I invite you to comment, to enjoy it if you like or not. But anyway, my point is that it has a lot to do with experience. your experience with Angular is a kind of personal. For me, as I wrote in this article in Medium, what I like the most about Angular is the way it works, like its components. These components, they are like box. When I design a application in Angular, I can see the box. I can see like you have a page, I can see the components. And I have to say as well that all the people that I saw working with Angular, the books and so on, I saw no one complain about that. So I think it can happen if anything in life. If you go to any PhD program, to Master of Science program, especially in Brazil, I saw it, a lot of people complain. I mean, the reason is that you can never predict everything that's going to happen in your life. It's somehow impossible. I myself did a lot of mistakes in my life as well, bad decisions. But you can at least do your best to calculate. Abraham Lincoln said once about that. That he would spend most of his time trying to understand about the X. I mean, I put in the article the whole quote, so you go there and see by yourself. But the point is, whenever you decide to choose which framework you are going to use, or which library, which database, do a lot of research. I have seen, in my opinion, that most of the people they don't do that because most of the time they are not working for themselves, they are working for a company. So I believe that what they should spend a lot of time doing a good work. But if you are in a company, but select someone, pay attention to that, because even though if you don't understand about the platform, about the web application, most of the people that, for the case of the guy that was I doing an interview, I saw for sure that he didn't know what he was talking. I mean, he didn't know about web application and so on. But you can still try to look for second opinions about the best framework to start. So Angular is a good option. I mean, maybe it's not a good option for your case, but can be a big option for a huge amount of people. There are a huge amount of people that works with Angular and so on. So I don't think Angular is evolving like any framework. It's evolving. In the past, when I started my life in computer programming, I started my life using Java. I remember how Java was like everything. Like, it seems to be the future. And JavaScript, as far as I know, was created to steal the thunder of Java, because JavaScript does not have anything to do with Java. I mean, I fall into this trap. When I did my interview for my postdoc, I didn't know about JavaScript. I did a mistake in my head to say that Java was like JavaScript. I mean, it was like came naturally. I don't know why I said that. The guy corrected me. After math, I passed the interview, but that was a big mistake. Anyway, my Java was created specifically for JavaScript. The name was created to steal the thunder of Java. At the time, I remember I was at Java. You had all the application, the web application. But nowadays, I believe that some people are still using Java for web development. I had some students using. You have like I think Spring, they're using Java for our web development. But as a Java lover, I love Java. I mean, it was my first language. It was the start of my life. But now, I don't see anymore why I should work with Java for web development if I have Node.js. I mean, I love Java. But anyway, I believe it's much easier to work with Node.js. I mean, it really hurt my heart to say that. It's this kind of thing that I have to say that makes me feel bad, because I love Java. I defended Java for quite a while. That was I start my career. But my experience with Java showed that I don't know. I have to confess, I lost touch with Java. But anyway, I don't know how it's now. But I can let you know for sure that Node.js is quite easy to work. Angular as well. I use the mini stack, like the whole package. Mongo, Node, Angular, and Express. Essentially, I start to test as well Nest.js, which is a kind of Angular kind of application for the back end. I mean, they're trying to make a kind of framework that's like Angular. If you when I was using Nest.js, it was quite hard for me to my brain was like, I'm on the front end, I'm on the front end, I'm on the front end, because like there's the similarity between Nest.js and Angular is quite strong, and the Nest.js as well make life even easier than Express. The drawback is that you don't have too much application in Nest.js, so it's like a new path. It's maybe a new. You have to start somewhere. Anyway, I wrote a short article for you, like trying to organize my thoughts on the article. I believe in the description of the video. To keep my thought like organized in a video a little bit harder. That's why another reason I wrote this article. I can even modify later. It's easier for me to modify a paper article than it to modify a video. So my final opinion, in order to not to keep the discussion very long, is that whether you should use Angular or not, it's not a matter that Angular sucks. It's a matter of what you want to do. I mean, Angular has such as, for example, I was teaching this student from Lisbon. She was using Bootstrap with Angular, but there is a huge amount of stuff a huge amount of nice work that you can do if you use Angular material. And I mean, so sometimes you have to understand, for example, the limitation of your environment. For example, I was giving lessons to a student, and she was doing unit test. Like she was in charge of creating unit test, and I gave her a suggestion how to do a unit test using a package that makes your life called ngmocks. Essentially, the package was created by some Angular developers. I don't know. The package was free, and she could create like mocks very easily. I mean, she could make a mock in order to unit test a component easily. Like, it was quite easy to make this kind of test. But after that, she couldn't use it because her organization didn't allow to use this kind of external package. And I understand, because it can be unstable. Angular can be quite unstable. If you have one of the biggest drawback of Angular is that if you have just one package that gives some kind of compatibility problem, it's not compatible, the whole system goes down, and that's pretty bad, I have to say. Maybe in the future they're going to improve that. Maybe in the future, sometimes I don't know. Maybe because Angular is a dynamic framework, everything is somehow connected. That's one of the point. So maybe maybe the future can avoid this kind of contamination. I don't know, because sometimes there is nothing perfect in life. When you design a framework or when you design anything you design in your life, the way you design is going to somehow to limit. It's like the human way of thinking. You can destroy any argument if you want, because any argument is built upon other argument. For example, if I talk to you about the laws of Newton, the laws of Newton is built upon other arguments. So you have what in physics is called first principle. So you can destroy any argument if you want. If you have like the human thought can be destroyed if you want. So that's more or less the same for any framework, any language. I have used Java for quite a long period of time, and people could easily destroy my argument that I was trying to defend. So what I did was just use it. I mean, if you keep talking to people about what you are doing, if they don't like what you are doing, they're going to find flaws in your argument. It's how it works. There is no perfection. But I can say that for me, Angular worked. I like Angular. I like the way it works. I like the framework. I had some problems, I have to confess. Sometimes I wanted to just give up because it was quite hard to learn. In the beginning, it was pretty hard, and sometimes but I have to say that when you see the application working, it's amazing. I mean, the way it works, how interactive it is. I don't know. I don't know what to say, because the only thing that I have to say that if you wanna use Angular, just use it. If you are going to work for a organization that use Angular, I don't know what to say, because sometimes, as the author said in the article, is true. Sometimes you can give up your work. You can't give up, in the sense that you need the money, you don't have saving and so on, so you have to use Angular. I have received a lot of students that they have very difficulty with Angular. Anyway, but it's hard to learn when you don't like something. I mean, your background, your preference, everything is going to influence how hard and how difficult it's for you to learn. So in any case, I give private lessons. I love Angular. I can help you. You let me know. Can let me know by email. You can let me know by the platform SuperProf. I'll be glad to help you. But I can tell you that if you hate something, but you have to learn, I used to say to myself, either you love what you do, or either you do what you love, or you love what you do. I mean, that's one thing that I learned in my life. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes, I hate to say that, but sometimes you just have to do it. Maybe you need the money. Maybe you need the... but at least you can make your life better. At least you can improve. I mean, you can make a bad situation as a good situation. I mean, my life as well was not completely easy in my postdoc. I mean, I did 2 postdocs. It was quite hard. I mean, but sometimes you have to find the beauty on a difficult situation. I mean, you have 2 choices. You can give up if you can. If you can't give up a bad situation, just give up. That's how life works. You cannot give up because of money, maybe because of you don't want to give up because you want. In my case, for example, I want to give up some situation, but I'm the kind of person that I like to finish what I start. If I start something, I want to finish. At least I want to take as far as I can. But sometimes you just have to give up. If you don't like Angular, if you have to work with Angular, maybe it's best to give up. I mean, if you need help, I'm a private tutor. I can try to help you. But what I have learned teaching, that when you don't want to learn, it's impossible to teach. It's impossible to learn. So that's it, guys. To summarize, to close the argument of mine, I think it can be, the article is about the experience of the author. Angular is not that bad. I mean, what can be bad is the situation, that how fast you have to learn. If you have to learn fast, very, very fast, maybe Angular is not the best option because it's slow to learn. It's hard. I can tell you it's hard to learn. I don't know about React. People say that React is very easy to learn. They say that Vue as well is very easy to learn. Maybe it is. I mean, Express is very easy to learn. You can build a web play. You can build a very nice web page with Express. I mean, Express. The only point that your page will be a static page. Maybe what you have to ask is what you need. Anyway, that's all, guys. I'm going to close the video now, and try to pay attention as much as you can the decision that you take, especially about your framework. So see you guys, and as always, I'm available to help you whatever you want. Just let me know. See you. Have a nice programming day.